Hello, welcome back. So, if you know me, you know that I love sports and I love fitness, and I do a lot of things relating to that. I mean, I weightlift, I bodybuild, I run, I swim, and I play a lot of sports like football, basketball, rugby, tennis. I do a lot. I love a lot of sports, and I'm always up for playing new sports and new fitness techniques as well. And for a while, I've been thinking of an idea. I thought, what would happen if I created my own sport? And I realised that I did actually want to create my own sport, and that's a good idea. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm actually probably going to take this quite seriously. So I actually would think it'd be really fun to create my own sport. I'd love to create a sport that's like tied to my name that I created. It's just a fun little thing, and I thought maybe it actually could go places. Maybe it could actually go somewhere. Who knows? Who knows? But we're getting too far ahead of ourselves there, you know what I mean? Like, it probably is possible that people pick this up and actually start playing it. It's not really that difficult. If people actually like the idea, then it's going to go far. It's as simple as. Because I want to create this sport, I actually wanted to take it a bit seriously. So when saying that, that means I need to do copyright. So I need to write out forms, sign them, make rules, give the ideas, and basically sign it all off. And I know how to do that because I know how to do copyright. So, you know, sports and fitness is good for health, it's good for team building, it's just good for general fun. You know, there's been amazing champions that have been brought out of sports and fitness, and I just think it's just an interesting idea to actually create a new sport. Like, I don't know how many new sports are created every day. I know there's like outdoor games and things like that. Like anything that's, I suppose, physical activity is a sport. Like people say dancing is a sport. Yeah, it is a sport. It's more of an art form, but it is a sport because it's physical activity. So it's like dancing's like a coincide, you know what I mean? And obviously I do dance myself, mainly break dancing, but I can do a lot of other stuff. But anyway, that's not for today's video. Today's video is about fitness and sports, because health, exercise, team building, loads of other benefits from sports and fitness. So yeah, I'm going to take this seriously, and obviously with doing that, that means I'm going to do something that's very over the top, but I think is very important, and that's copyright. Yes, I'm going to write out a legislation document saying that this sport was created by me, and to be fair, this video is proof of that as well. Now obviously with the planning stage, this is just the general idea at the moment. I've already got some general ideas written down at the moment, but from now on this point in the video, we're actually going to put things into action and see the process of this. Yeah, I love sport, I love fitness, and I've come up with this idea to create my own sport. So, but to start this process, there's one step that I need to do first, and that is the idea. So the idea will be split up into 3 parts: the rules, the pitch layout, and the equipment that's used, and that's pretty much it. So time to start creating the sport and putting these ideas into action. Cool? Boot, let's go. Right, so it's been about 2 days, and today I'm going to get pretty much most of the things done. But yeah, I'm going to start writing out the legislation, the rules, and drawing out the pitch layout, and drawing out the equipment, and I can't wait. So let's get into this. Right, hello, we're back. So it's nearly somewhat been like a week or so or something like that. Today's the final day for the planning stage of the sport, before we start doing the experimental stage and the actual production stage, and actually getting the sport out there, and hopefully people actually start playing it and making their own opinions on it, and you know, it actually becomes like an actual official sport. for today, the last few things that we need to do, I need to draw the pitch layout and also draw the equipment. Now, I'm not gonna go too in depth of it just yet. This is kind of the concept stage of it so far. So yeah. But for now, the next step is to draw the pitch layout and draw in the equipment. Let's go. Right, so it's been a few weeks and I finally got to the point where I've pretty much finished sprucing up the rest of this project. Right, let's start this. So right now we have the pitch layout. So first things first, so the pitch is 120 meters by 60 meters. So one side will have 60 meters of the pitch and the other side will have the other 60 meters of the pitch. Bearing in mind that this grey area that you see right here, this is the outer zone. So you can obviously see this is the out of pitch and javelin throwing grid. We have the grid spots, which are these little dots here. There is a lot more of them, but just for the simplicity of this, I just kind of added the main ones onto this. Each side's got 3 goals. We've got the main goal, we've got the mid goal, the right goal and the left goal, same on the other side. We've got the defence, we've got the defuse grid, which is to defuse retakes and things like that. They've got them either side. So obviously each team uses their own defuse grid. Then before the goal is this little bit section here. So it's not just this rectangle here, it's these triangle bits as well. And that's why it's kind of been dotted like that, as you can see. I know it's not really clear because some things do look shaded. This is just where I've rubbed it out. The rubber that I had at the time of making this wasn't the best, so it kind of smudged and stuff, so I need to get some new rubbers and stuff. But anyway, we've got the offside touchdown grid, which is to touch down the plant before you go in for a strike. You obviously touch it down in your own touchdown grid and then attack to the other side. And this is the plant circle where all your plants are kept to attack with. And then obviously you've got the formation grids, I don't know what you want to call them. We've got the defence grid, the midfield grid and the attack grid. Obviously this line is sort of the mid-pitch line, so you could also call that the midfield line, but for the sake of this I've called this grid midfield grid, and same on the other side as well in terms of having the attack grid, midfield grid and defence grid. So each team has a defence grid, each team has a midfield grid and each team has an attack grid. And then you've got the mid-pitch line, which hasn't been labelled, but you know. I've sort of managed to work out the dimensions. You can obviously see at the bottom, it's pretty self-explanatory. The diffuse grid is 5 meters, the goal is 5 meters, and offside touchdown grid is 5 meters as well. And then the actual size of the grids, the size of the formation grids are 50 meters apart. You can pretty much see what it says here. And then you can sort of work out the mass from that. There's a few things that I've realised that I've missed out in terms of the dimensions, but realistically you don't really need to know that just yet. You just need to know the basic layout, and all you need to know is that everything is actually to scale on this. So yeah, as long as this bit's correct and this bit's correct and everything looks like it's quite balanced, then the diameters, then obviously the size of the pitch is accurate. So that's the pitch basically. That's the pitch that we're working with. There's nothing else I don't think I've missed out. Obviously you've got these little grid spots here, which are very hard to see because they're not that clear, but they're the throw-in points where you can throw left to right. That's the pitch layout. That's what we're working on in terms of the pitch. Right, now let's move on to the equipment. Right, so right now we've got the equipment that's used. So there's one thing that I've also missed out, and that's the letter label. So each team can decide which goal is A, B or C. Each goal has a specific plant that allows bonus points. So the big plants might be A and the small plants might be B. And the teams can decide whether their mid goal is A, their left goal is B, or whether their right goal is C, etc. Things like that. So I'll explain that later anyway. You would switch the goalpost. Oh, maybe that's the way I could do it actually. Is actually slide it on the goalpost. Never mind, right. The letter labels will be on the goalposts. I'll figure out some way to add them, but you know. But yeah, right, what we've got here is we've got the goalposts. This is 6 foot by 30 centimeters, the 30 centimeter base. I don't know how hard the base is, but we'll just roll with it for the time being. Can figure out all the other maths later. We don't really have to worry about that at the moment. So yeah, the goalposts, each team has 12 of each. We've got the javelin thrower, which is, it sort of looks like those Nerf whistle things. That's sort of what it's based off. Some of these concepts have been based off other sports. You'll notice that this sport might be based a bit off rugby and a bit off like other ball games and things like that. I've sort of tried to incorporate all together in a way, but with its own little twist, but with also like my original ideas and things like that. But you know, but yeah, you can see that this is the javelin thrower. All the dimensions are there. I don't really need to explain any more than that. It might not be completely to scale, but that's the general idea. We've got a point pin. This is just to know where all the points are. Pretty self-explanatory. I've put 18 per pack if we have packs and things like that. I don't really know. It's just all ideas at the end of the day. And the point pins aren't really like necessary. That's just if you like buy a set of the game, because I've got a plan where you can buy like 4 different sets and you can have like a bigger game and things like that. So, but yeah. Then we've got the plant circle. It says 120 centimeters in terms of the diameter, but I think the diameter is going to have to be a lot bigger because just one big plant is 35 centimeters and they're going to need a bit of space, so I'm going to have to make the plant circle a bit bigger. I'll also do that in an update video and things like that. So yeah, plant circle, that's where all your plants are kept before you initiate with them. Obviously you have to touch down in the touchdown grid before you attack with the plant. And then we've got to the juicy bits, like what are the plants? Yes, they're not flower pots, don't worry, they're actually like balls. For the time being I'm calling it plant strike, and these are the plants, so they're sort of like spikes and things like that. They're sort of like detonators in a way, but they're not, they're just like balls, like footballs or rugby balls or basketballs, whatever. So yeah, there's 3 different sizes. The diameter of the diameter of the small plant is 25 centimeters. The diameter of the mid plant is 30 centimeters, and the diameter of the big plant is 35 centimeters. Now I might change the difference between the size of the balls. That might take a bit of time because I need to see actually how they look in real life, and obviously that requires a lot of resources to make these. Yeah, we'll just see where it goes. But yeah, and then you can see on the plants that they've actually got these numbers, they've got these tallies. That's to show you how many total strikes that plant can get in its correct goal. So the small plants, no matter whatever goal it goes in, it will always be 1. That's the bonus, and the standard is just 1 strike. For the second plant, it's obviously 1 standard strike and a bonus strike if it goes into the correct goal. I'll explain all the rules later. And then with the big plant, it's 1 standard strike in any goal and then 2 bonus strikes in the correct goal. That makes sense. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Then this is just all grip and things like that, and then just design things. The design of the plants might change over time. This is sort of what I've come up with at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the equipment. Now let's get onto the rules. So yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything I've missed out. Oh yeah, all the equipment, each team, no matter what team it is, will either be colour coded or team coded. So the team might have like a banner or like a team emblem, or they might have like a colour that will be associated to their equipment, so then you know whose equipment is whose. I've noticed I've looked a lot over here. I apologise, I'm meant to be looking over here. It's just I'm just looking at my marvellous complexion. So yeah, cool. That's it for the equipment. If there's not anything that I didn't really go over, let me know. realistically it's all self-explanatory, and all you really need to know is just sort of the general basis of the equipment. In terms of like the actual size and stuff like that, that's a thing to figure out at a later date, but this is what I've got so far, and I think it's pretty decent. Cool. Right, let's get on to the rules. So for the rules, I'm just going to briefly show them on screen for a bit, and pretty much the rules do explain themselves, because I feel like it's a lot more simpler for you to read them yourselves, because then you can learn at your own pace. And I'm going to quickly show them on screen now, and if you want to read them, just pause the video and read them. If you don't, that's fine, they're only going to be on screen for a brief time. So yeah, see you in a minute. So it's been probably about over a month when starting working on this project in terms of the planning stage of working on this sport, and I made a few adjustments. The sport is still called Plant Strike, but the actual name for it at the moment is called JABDUS. So you can call it JABDUS, JABDUS Strike, or Plant Strike, just depends on whatever you're feeling. At this current time, the final name for the sport is called JABDUS. Kind of a twist on my initials, JD, you know, Jacob Devlin, you know, JABDUS. It's kind of but I thought it was quite cool to have just like the initials, because it kind of makes it a bit more unique. It kind of individualizes it a bit and separates it from a few of the other sports that are out there. But yeah, like I was saying, it's been probably about just over a month of when starting on the planning stage of this. The reason why it's took this long is just because I've been working and I've been doing other projects as well as the side, and I've had a bit more of a relaxed approach to it. But down to the last bit, so I've printed off the documents, I've stapled them together. All that left I have to do is just sign it, and then we can move on to the experimental stage and seeing what works and what doesn't, and see actually how the sport actually plays out in real life, I guess. So I've got all the documents here. I'm really excited for this. I'm actually quite excited for this. This is going to be something. JABDUS is going to be something, and you know, I can't wait. Or Plant Strike. JABDUS or Plant Strike, it's up to you. I think JABDUS, it sticks. It really does stick. I mean, I had a list of other names, but JABDUS, I think it feels like a sport name, you know what I mean? So all there's left to do is just sign it, and then it's on to the experimental stage, and that'll be in the next video of this series, I suppose. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait. This is going to be an interesting journey for this series. Obviously, I've got other videos that I'm working on as well. So yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with this sport. So yeah, that's it really. Let's get this signed. So here we go. This is JABDUS officially becoming a sport. I think I've done this right. I don't know. Realistically, I don't actually know. I think I've done it right. Here we go. What's the date? It's the 7th. And there we go, JABDUS Strike / Plant Strike has officially just been signed by yours truly. I guess all we've got left to do is just do the experimental stage and the actual production stage, if sport actually hopefully goes anywhere, goes big and, you know, goes places and stuff. But I guess that all that's left to say is like, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.